Book of Psalm 34 verse 18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Beloved soul, welcome. Let your breathing slow and your shoulders rest. This is a sacred hour, a tender moment where heaven leans in. Mary, your gentle mother, is here. Her grace does not rush. Her love does not wound. In her presence, even silence is healing. Let her gather the pieces of your heart. She has come to walk with you through the pain toward peace. There are wounds hidden deep beneath the surface, invisible to the eyes of the world but raw and aching within your heart. These are the wounds no one sees, the quiet sorrows, the silent battles, the grief that sits like a shadow in the corners of your soul. You carry them every day, sometimes without even realizing it, because they have become part of your story, woven into the fabric of who you are. But today, in this sacred moment, you are invited to bring those hidden pains into the gentle light of Mary's grace. Let her hold that wound. Imagine her hands, soft, patient, and full of tenderness, reaching toward the places inside you where the hurt still lingers. She does not rush you. She does not demand you to explain or justify your pain. She simply sees it, honors it, and embraces it with a mother's unconditional love. Come to me, she seems to whisper, bring me your burdens. I will carry them with you. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus tells us, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11 verse 28. Mary, as the one closest to Jesus, shares that invitation intimately. She knows the weight of sorrow because she carried the heaviest grief of all, a mother's heart pierced by the suffering of her son. Her own pain gives her a unique tenderness for yours. When you feel overwhelmed, she is there, a steady presence beside you, reminding you that you are not alone. Sometimes, the deepest hurt is not loud. It is a quiet ache. A loneliness that whispers in the dark, a disappointment that shadows your hopes, a fear you cannot put into words. Let her touch the place where you still hurt, even if that place feels too fragile or ashamed to be seen. She sees the tears you have never spoken of, the nights you have spent wrestling with despair. In her arms, those tears find a safe resting place. You might wonder, why has this wound remained so long? Why does it feel like it will never heal? Healing is rarely swift or straightforward. It is a journey through tenderness and trust, through darkness and light. It requires surrender, a letting go of the need to control the pain, and a willingness to be held by someone who loves without conditions. Mary offers that surrender gently. She invites you to trust her as a mother trusts her child, even when the path is uncertain. Take a deep breath now. Let your heart soften. Feel the quiet invitation of her presence, like a lullaby for your soul. Even when you cannot find the words, even when prayer feels too difficult, she is praying for you. She intercedes with a love that never tires, a love that reaches beyond your failures and fears. Remember the words of Psalm 147 verse 3, He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Mary participates in that healing. She is not just a distant figure in the past but a living mother who stands with you today. Her grace flows like a gentle river, ready to wash over every broken piece of you. Let yourself rest in this truth: your pain does not define you. You are more than your wounds. And in this rosary for healing, each bead is a step deeper into peace. Each prayer a thread weaving hope through the fabric of your spirit. So now, with quiet courage, bring to Mary what you have hidden for too long. Let her cradle that wound without judgment, without hurry. She sees you. She loves you. She is here. In the quiet sanctuary of Mary's embrace, there is a sacred place. A refuge where weary hearts find rest and broken spirits are gently healed. Imagine the soft shelter of her mantle, wide and tender, enfolding you like the warmest cloak on a cold night. Beneath that mantle, you are safe from the storms that rage outside. You do not need to be strong here. You do not need to hide your fears or your tears. This is a place made holy by love, where the burdens of yesterday can finally be laid down. Mary's mantle is more than fabric. It is a symbol of divine protection and motherly care. It speaks of God's promise to be near, to shield, and to comfort. In the book of Ruth, we see a glimpse of this tender refuge when Ruth clings to Naomi's cloak, seeking shelter and hope. Ruth 3 verse 9. So too, you are invited to cling to Mary's mantle, trusting that under its folds, the healing grace of God flows freely. To rest beneath her mantle means surrendering the exhaustion of trying to fix everything on your own. It means letting go of the need to control the uncontrollable and opening your heart to receive the gentle care you so deeply need. Sometimes, the soul's deepest healing begins when we stop fighting and simply allow ourselves to be held. She understands your fatigue, not just the tiredness of the body, but the deep weariness of the spirit. The kind of weariness that comes from unanswered prayers, from carrying pain too heavy for one person to bear. Yet here, in this sacred refuge, her loving presence invites you to lay down your burdens. Come to me, she whispers softly, and find the rest your soul longs for. In the Gospel of John, Jesus promises peace that the world cannot give. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. John 14 verse 27. Mary, as the mother who stood by the cross, shares in that gift of peace. She enfolds you in a peace not of circumstances, but of heart, a peace that passes understanding. Close your eyes, if you will, and picture yourself stepping beneath her mantle. Feel the warmth and softness, the unspoken assurance that here you are loved exactly as you are. No need for explanations or performances, only the pure truth of your worth in God's eyes. Let her mantle cover your pain, your doubts, your fears. Let it shield you from the voices that say you are not enough. Here, you are held with a love so tender that healing can begin quietly, gently, in the hidden places of your soul. Even if your heart feels heavy, even if your spirit is bruised, beneath her mantle there is a gentle invitation to rest, to breathe deeply, to be still, to know that you are never alone. As you continue with this rosary, let each prayer be a thread weaving you more deeply into this sanctuary of grace. Let Mary's mantle remind you that healing is not about rushing toward the end but about resting in the love that carries you through. Remember the promise from Psalm 46 verse 1. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Mary points us always toward that refuge, the heart of God, where we find strength not by our own effort, but through surrender. Rest now, beloved soul. Rest beneath her mantle. The journey of healing begins here, with peace, with love, with gentle grace. There are tears that fall quietly in the dark, unseen by anyone but God. Tears shed in moments when you thought you had to be strong, when you held your pain tightly to yourself. These are the tears you've never cried openly, tears born of deep loneliness, shattered dreams, or wounds too tender to share. Yet, in the silence, Mary is near. She knows them all. Every tear, every sigh, every heartbreak carried silently within you. Her heart is tender because she has known grief herself, the grief of a mother watching her beloved son suffer beyond words. In John's Gospel, we find her standing near the cross, holding sorrow that no words can express. John 19 verses 25 to 27. This sorrow transformed her, deepening her compassion. Now, she offers that compassion to you, understanding the secret pains hidden beneath your smile. Let her see the tears you have never spoken of. Imagine her gentle eyes meeting yours, not with judgment, but with infinite mercy. She is the mother who never turns away, even from the darkest parts of your soul. In her presence, your hidden sorrow is welcomed, acknowledged, and held sacred. Sometimes we hide our tears because we fear being seen as weak or broken. But strength is not in hiding pain, it is in allowing healing to begin. Let her touch the places where your tears have left their mark. Let her cradle your sadness with the tenderness only a mother's heart can hold. Psalm 56 verse 8 reminds us, "You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. You have recorded each one in your book." Mary shares this intimate knowledge of your pain. She carries it with you, praying for your healing even when words fail. In this rosary, as you pray each Hail Mary, imagine placing your silent tears into her hands. She does not rush to wipe them away but holds them gently, allowing the healing balm of grace to seep into every hurt. Healing often begins where tears have been tenderly received and loved. Even when grief feels endless, even when your spirit feels shattered, Mary invites you to trust in the transformative power of these tears. They are not wasted or forgotten. Each tear is a precious offering, a pathway to renewed hope and deeper peace. Let yourself cry if you need to, cry in the safety of her presence. And as the tears fall, know that healing flows like a river from the heart of the one who sees, understands, and loves you beyond measure. In this moment, surrender your sorrow to Mary's care. Allow her to carry it for you, to transform your pain into a quiet strength that will guide you forward. You are not alone. She sees you. She loves you. And she holds your tears with a love that will never let go. There are moments when the world feels unbearably quiet, and that silence echoes louder than any noise. In the stillness of your heart, where words fail and prayers seem to vanish into emptiness, the ache of silence can feel like a weight too heavy to bear. This is a profound loneliness, a solitude where the absence of comfort can wound as deeply as any visible pain. But in this very silence, Mary is present, speaking softly in the language of stillness. She does not rush to fill the void with words or explanations. Instead, she sits beside you in sacred companionship, her presence a gentle balm on your restless spirit. Sometimes, healing is not found in the noise but in the quiet embrace of someone who simply stays, who offers solidarity without conditions. Mary, your mother in faith, is that presence. Even when you cannot pray, even when your heart feels numb, she is there, listening, understanding, interceding. The Gospel tells us that Jesus often withdrew to quiet places to pray, to rest in the Father's presence. Luke 5 verse 16. Mary, who walked this path alongside him, learned the deep power of silent communion. She invites you now into that sacred stillness, where healing flows not from words but from the simple act of being held in divine love. When silence hurts, it can be tempting to flee, to distract yourself with busyness, noise, or endless striving. But Mary gently invites you to stay, to breathe deeply, to let the stillness speak its mysterious language. In this silence, there is a holy presence that hears even the prayers unspoken, the cries hidden deep inside. Isaiah 30 verse 15 reminds us, "In repentance and rest is your salvation, in quietness and trust is your strength." Here in the silence, you are invited to trust, to surrender your worries, your doubts, your fears. You don't have to understand or fix everything. You only need to be still enough to feel her loving presence. Let her hand rest on your shoulder. Feel her warmth radiate through the silence, a silent prayer that never ceases. Even when your heart feels empty or numb, her love flows steadily like a quiet river beneath the surface. You are safe in this sacred silence. You are seen. You are heard, not by human ears, but by a heart that beats with maternal compassion. This is where healing begins, not in rushing or fixing, but in being fully known and fully loved. So, take this moment. Let the silence wash over you. Let Mary's stillness speak to the places inside you that are tired, afraid, or lost. She is with you, praying for you, holding you close, inviting you to rest in the gentle peace only she can give. In the quiet, you may not hear words, but you can feel a presence. And that presence is love, unwavering, unchanging, holy. There is a sacred tenderness in a mother's touch, the way her hands can calm a restless child, soothe a fevered brow, or gently wipe away tears. Mary's hands carry that very tenderness, not just as a figure from history but as a living, breathing presence reaching out to touch your heart right now. When you feel the heaviness of pain or the weight of sorrow pressing down, imagine her hands upon your heart, soft, warm, healing. Her touch does not rush or force healing. It moves slowly, respectfully, knowing that true restoration is a delicate unfolding. There is no need to hurry. She understands the scars, the aches, the places where your heart still breaks quietly in the darkness. Let her hands rest there, tenderly tracing the lines of your pain, offering gentle reassurance that you are not forgotten. In Luke's Gospel, we see how Jesus healed through touch, the blind received sight, the sick found strength, and the broken were made whole through the compassion of his hands. Luke 4 verse 40. Mary, who carried Jesus in her womb and held him close, now offers that same healing touch to you. She is the mother who knows how to heal not only wounds of the body but those hidden deep within the soul. Let her touch the place where you still hurt, even if it is a place you have hidden away from the world. This is your sacred space, a place where grace flows freely and pain can begin to unravel. As her hands rest upon your heart, feel the slow unfolding of peace, the soft melting of fear, the quiet strengthening of hope. Psalm 147 verse 3 says, "He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds." Mary participates in this healing with a mother's fidelity. Her hands do not erase the story of your suffering but hold it with love, helping you to carry it with grace. Sometimes, healing is not about the absence of pain but about the presence of love that transforms pain into strength. Let her hands show you this truth. She does not ask you to be perfect or to have it all together. She simply asks you to receive her love, tender and patient. Even if your heart feels fragile or afraid, her hands are steady. They invite you to trust in the slow, gentle work of healing that happens when you allow yourself to be touched by divine compassion. As you continue in this rosary, let each prayer be a way of resting in that touch, a way of opening your heart more deeply to the motherly grace that flows from Mary. With every bead, feel her presence more vividly, her hands cradling your heart, guiding you toward wholeness. Remember that you are never alone. Her healing touch is always near, a constant reminder that no pain is too great to be met with love. Let yourself be held now, here, in this holy moment. Feel her hands upon your heart. There may have been nights when the darkness felt endless, when the silence screamed louder than any comfort, and you felt utterly alone, abandoned by hope and perhaps even by God. Those nights when the shadows pressed in, and the ache of loneliness was a heavy companion. In your deepest despair, when no one seemed near, Mary was there. She was present in the quiet, holding you close even when you could not feel her. Her own night of abandonment came at the foot of the cross, when her Son, the light of the world, was pierced by darkness and death. She stood alone, yet unshaken, in the overwhelming sorrow, teaching us the power of faithful presence amid suffering. John's Gospel reveals her quiet strength and steadfastness, even in the most agonizing moments. John 19 verse 25. This is the heart of a mother who understands abandonment not as absence, but as steadfast love that endures beyond all pain. When you feel abandoned, know that Mary stands with you. She is not a distant figure but a living presence who walks through the night by your side. Her heart aches with yours, her prayers rise like incense to God for your healing. Even when your faith feels fragile or your voice is silent, she carries your sorrow in her own heart. In Psalm 23, David reminds us, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." Psalm 23 verse 4. Mary echoes this promise, inviting you to lean on her motherly strength when your own falters. She understands that the journey through darkness is not a sign of failure but a path toward deeper trust. Let her presence fill the spaces where loneliness once lived. Imagine her arms wrapping around you gently, steadying your trembling spirit. Feel the warmth of her love dispel the chill of abandonment. She is the mother who will never leave you, even when it feels like the world has. Sometimes, the night stretches on long and hard, but Mary's steadfastness is a beacon. A soft, unwavering light in the darkness. She teaches us that healing can grow even in the hardest places, that hope can rise when we least expect it. Take a deep breath and release the weight of isolation. Surrender your fears and doubts into her loving hands. She is praying for you when words fail. She is holding you when you cannot hold yourself. Let this rosary be a journey out of the night and into the dawn of God's healing grace. Mary's presence is your shelter, her love your refuge. You are never abandoned. There are times when the weight of your suffering makes prayer feel impossible, when words stick in your throat and your heart is too heavy or too numb to speak. In those moments, when silence replaces supplication, Mary steps in as your steadfast intercessor. She prays for you when you cannot. Her heart knows the language of your soul's deepest longing, even when you cannot find the words. The Gospel shows us that Mary treasured and pondered the mysteries of God in her heart. Luke 2 verse 19. This intimate reflection is a model for us in moments of spiritual dryness or exhaustion. She understands the silence born of grief, doubt, and fear. She does not judge or demand words. Instead, she listens with motherly patience and prays with a love that bridges every gap. In Romans 8 verses 26 to 27, Paul reminds us, in the same way, the Spirit helps us in our weakness. We do not know what we ought to pray for, but the Spirit Himself intercedes for us through wordless groans. Mary participates in this divine intercession. She lifts your silent cries, your groans too deep for words, up to the heart of God. You are never truly voiceless or unseen. Let her be the prayer in your silence, the presence that carries you through the darkness when you feel spiritually dry. Imagine her hands folded in prayer for you, her eyes filled with compassion, her heart beating in rhythm with your own. Even in your quietest despair, she intercedes with unwavering love. This is the sacred mystery of the communion of saints, the unseen support that surrounds you, the prayers that rise like incense before the throne of grace, offered by a mother who loves you deeply. Allow yourself to rest in this truth. Your inability to pray does not mean you are forgotten or distant from God. Mary's prayers weave a bridge of mercy and healing over every silent space within you. As you continue this rosary, let each Hail Mary be a thread connecting your heart to hers, an act of surrender that invites grace to flow. Even when words fail, love speaks. Her prayer for you is relentless, tender, and full of hope. She believes in your healing even when you struggle to believe in yourself. Let her prayer carry you now into a place of peace. You are held. You are prayed for. You are loved. Loss carves deep valleys in the heart, spaces where joy once lived, now filled with an aching emptiness. Whether it is the loss of a loved one, a dream, a relationship, or a sense of peace, grief touches each soul uniquely and painfully. In these moments when your heart feels shattered, know that Mary mourns with you. She is not a distant observer but a mother who has borne the greatest loss, and so she understands your ache intimately. Her sorrow was most profound at the foot of the cross, where Jesus breathed his last. John's Gospel captures the scene, Mary standing near, her heart pierced by a grief so intense it defies words. John 19 verses 25 to 27. This sorrow became a wellspring of compassion, enabling her to share the suffering of countless souls across time and space. You may feel overwhelmed by the weight of your loss, wondering if healing is even possible. Remember the promise in Revelation 21 verse 4, He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain. Mary, as our mother, lives in that hope and brings it to you. She walks with you through your mourning, offering her embrace as a sanctuary where your tears are honored. Let yourself lean into her sorrow, allowing it to be a bridge between your pain and God's healing. She does not hurry you to move on or get over it. Instead, she holds your loss with gentle reverence, knowing that healing comes in its own time, often through the tender unfolding of grace. Grief is not a sign of weakness but a testament to love. Let her mourn with you, sharing the burden so you do not have to carry it alone. Her heart beats alongside yours, reminding you that every tear is precious and that you are never forgotten. As you pray this rosary, place your grief in her hands. Feel the comfort of her presence, the warmth of her compassion, and the steady assurance that God's love never fails, even in the darkest valleys. You are invited now to release the pain of loss into her care. Let her healing grace begin its quiet work deep within your heart. In her mourning, find hope. In her embrace, find peace. You are loved beyond measure. Deep within your soul, beneath the layers of grown-up responsibilities and daily struggles, there is still a child, a tender part of you that remembers pain, rejection, or fear. This child in you carries wounds that may have been overlooked, forgotten, or too painful to face. Mary sees that child. She cradles the hurting child within you now, offering the unconditional love and safety that every child needs to begin healing. Imagine her arms wrapped around that fragile part of you, holding it close like a mother holds her newborn, softly, patiently, without hurry. This is a place where vulnerability is met with protection, where the broken pieces are gathered with care. Mary's maternal heart knows what it means to nurture, to soothe, and to restore hope to the smallest, most delicate parts of our being. The Gospel reminds us that Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." Matthew 19 verse 14. Mary, as the mother who guided Jesus through his childhood and beyond, shares this love for the child in each of us. She invites you to bring forward your wounded child, the parts that still long for comfort, acceptance, and healing. Even if the child inside you has been hurt by neglect, harsh words, or unmet needs, Mary does not turn away. She holds that child with infinite tenderness, speaking peace to the places of fear and loneliness. She invites you to trust that it is never too late to be loved fully and to begin anew. Let her cradle you now. Feel the quiet power of her presence as she rocks the fragile parts of your heart, whispering hope and healing. This embrace is not just symbolic, it is a living reality available to you in this moment. Psalm 131 verse 2 says, "But I have calmed and quieted my soul, like a weaned child with its mother." In Mary's arms, your soul can find that calm and quiet. You are safe. You are cherished. You are held. This rosary is a journey into that sacred space, a place where your inner child can finally breathe, rest, and begin to heal. Let each prayer be a gentle lullaby, weaving peace into the fabric of your being. You are not alone. Mary cradles you now, with the same love that nurtured the Son of God. In her embrace, the child within you finds home. In the quiet moments of life, when your heart feels restless and overwhelmed, there is a gentle whisper inviting you to surrender, an invitation to release your struggles and to trust in a love greater than your fears. This whisper is the voice of Mary, guiding you like a mother guiding her child through a secret garden where healing grows slowly but surely. Picture yourself in a lush garden at dawn. The air is cool and fragrant with hope. Here, surrounded by tender blooms and soft light, you find a place to lay down your burdens. The garden is a symbol of your soul, a sacred space where healing begins when you choose to surrender, not out of weakness, but out of profound trust. Mary teaches us that surrender is not giving up, it is opening your heart to God's grace in the midst of pain. When Jesus prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane, he surrendered his will to the Father's. Luke 22 verse 42, modeling the power of trust amid uncertainty and fear. Mary stood near him, sharing in that moment of surrender, showing us the strength found in letting go. Healing flows when you let go of the need to control, when you allow God's love to enter the spaces where resistance once lived. The garden whispers this truth softly: you are held even in your weakness. You are enough, just as you are. In Psalm 46 verse 10, we hear, "Be still, and know that I am God." Stillness is a doorway to surrender. In the stillness, Mary's whisper becomes clear. She invites you to release your fears, your pain, your doubts into her hands. Let her carry them as she carries you closer to healing. Feel the gentle breeze of grace stirring the branches above, as if God's own breath is comforting your spirit. Each whispered prayer is a seed planted in this garden, growing roots of hope, patience, and peace. This is not a hurried journey but a patient unfolding. Healing through surrender means trusting the process, allowing God's timing and love to work deeply within you. Let Mary's whisper soothe your soul now. She walks beside you in the garden of your heart, inviting you to rest, to trust, and to heal. You do not have to carry your pain alone. Here, you are safe. Here, you are loved. Embrace this moment of surrender, knowing it is the beginning of new life, a life touched by Mary's grace and God's endless mercy. Life often feels like walking through a field of thorns, moments sharp with pain, trials that prick and draw blood from the heart. Yet, through every painful step, Mary's love is the constant hand that never lets go. She walks with you through those thorns, not shielding you from the difficulties, but steadying you with a love that is fierce and unyielding. Her own journey was pierced with thorns, watching her son endure suffering beyond measure, feeling the sharp edges of grief and loss. Yet, she never withdrew. Her love remained steadfast, a source of strength amid the pain. This is the same love she offers you now, unwavering, tender, and fierce enough to carry you through the hardest seasons. In Romans 8 verses 38 to 39, Paul assures us, "For I am convinced that neither death nor life, nor anything else in all creation, will be able to separate us from the love of God that is in Christ Jesus our Lord." Mary reflects that divine love, holding your hand firmly even when the path is thorny and uncertain. Let her love be your anchor when fear and pain threaten to overwhelm. She knows what it means to suffer, to feel alone, to walk through darkness, but her love never falters. It surrounds you like armor and yet feels as soft as a mother's embrace. The thorns you face may seem relentless, but they do not define your journey. With Mary beside you, each thorn becomes a part of your story of healing, a story of courage, resilience, and grace. She helps you see that even in pain, there is beauty, a hidden path leading toward deeper peace. Allow yourself to lean into that love. Feel it steady your steps, soothe your wounds, and give you courage to keep moving forward. Mary's love is a refuge and a fortress, a gentle hand that will never let go no matter how difficult the road. As you pray this rosary, each bead is a reminder of her presence. Her love binding you gently yet powerfully through every trial. You are held, protected, and cherished. Even when the thorns press in, remember, her love is stronger. She walks with you still. There are parts of your soul, places deep within, where pain and fear have been locked away, hidden even from yourself. These are the shadows you may hesitate to reveal, wounds wrapped in silence, secrets too fragile to share. Mary invites you now to let her touch what you've hidden. She comes not to expose or judge, but to heal and restore what has long been concealed. Her gentle presence invites you to release the weight of these hidden pains. She knows the courage it takes to bring them into the light. In the Gospel of Luke, Mary responds with humble openness to God's call, saying, "Behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord, let it be to me according to your word." Luke 1 verse 38. Her yes was a surrender to divine healing and transformation. A surrender she now offers you as a model for your own journey. Let her hands reach the corners of your heart where fear, shame, or sorrow have taken root. She sees the wounds you've kept locked away, not to condemn, but to hold with tender mercy. Even when you feel unworthy, even when your hidden parts feel too broken, her love reaches there first. Psalm 34 verse 18 assures us, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Mary reflects that closeness in a mother's embrace. She carries your brokenness as her own and prays for your healing with unwavering devotion. There is freedom in letting her touch what you've hidden. It is a release from isolation, a step toward wholeness. Trust that you are safe here, and that grace flows most deeply when we dare to be vulnerable. Imagine her gentle hands softly uncovering the hidden pain, wrapping it in light and love. Feel the gentle warmth that melts away the cold weight of fear. In this sacred moment, Healing begins not with grand gestures, but with quiet surrender. You are invited to bring every hidden part of yourself into this rosary of healing. Let the prayers be a pathway out of the shadows and into the embrace of grace. Mary walks with you, a tender companion who knows the depths of your heart. No wound is too deep. No hurt is too hidden. She is here to touch and heal every part of you. Fear can make its home in the quietest corners of our hearts, places where doubt, anxiety, and uncertainty gather like unwelcome guests. It whispers lies, tells you that you are alone, helpless, or unworthy. But Mary, with her gentle strength, comes to build a chapel of peace right where fear has taken root, a sanctuary within your soul where calmness and hope dwell. This chapel is not made of stone or wood, but of grace and trust. It is a holy refuge where you can bring your fears without shame or resistance. Mary understands the power of fear because she lived through moments of uncertainty, the unknown journey of pregnancy, the dangers that surrounded Jesus, and the anguish of the cross. Yet, through it all, she trusted God's promise. Isaiah 41 verse 10 offers this promise to your trembling heart: "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God." Mary embodies this reassurance, inviting you to lay down your fears at her feet and enter into the peace she offers. In this sacred chapel, you can breathe deeply and release the tension that fear has built. Imagine Mary lighting candles of hope and faith, each flame a beacon that pushes back the darkness. Her prayers weave a protective veil around you, a shield against the voices that seek to steal your peace. Let her build this chapel within you by bringing every fearful thought, every anxious worry, and every trembling hope into her care. She listens without judgment and offers peace without conditions. Her heart beats steady with the love that calms the storms inside you. You are not alone in your fear. Mary walks beside you, building a place of refuge where you can find rest for your weary spirit. With each prayer of the Rosary, feel the walls of this chapel strengthen, the light grow brighter, and the peace settle deeper. Let yourself be carried into this holy space where fear cannot rule and peace reigns. Here, Mary's grace fills every corner, reminding you that you are held, protected, and deeply loved. Step inside the chapel of peace she builds for you. Find your rest. Find your hope. Find your healing. Life's journey leaves cracks in our hearts, fractures formed by hardship, disappointment, and loss. These cracks can make us feel fragile, vulnerable, and sometimes broken beyond repair. But Mary, in her infinite compassion, pours grace into those very cracks, transforming them into places where light and healing blossom. With every Hail Mary prayed, her love seeps gently into the broken places, mending what was once shattered. Each bead of the Rosary is more than a repetition, it is a sacred step toward wholeness. As you say, "Hail Mary, full of grace, Imagine her pouring a healing balm into your wounds, softening hardened pain, easing aching doubts, and soothing restless fears. This grace does not erase the scars but lovingly fills the spaces around them, making your heart stronger and more beautiful for having been broken. The Apostle Paul reminds us in 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Mary is a vessel of that grace. She stands with you in your weakness, offering the perfect power of God's love that transforms suffering into strength. Let yourself feel the rhythm of the prayers as a heartbeat, a steady pulse of hope and healing. With every whispered "Hail Mary," she pours grace into your soul, knitting together what pain tried to tear apart. This is a grace that meets you right where you are, tender and patient. You might carry doubts about your worthiness, fears about your future, or wounds from your past. Mary's grace reaches beyond those barriers, reminding you that you are beloved beyond measure. She prays for you with a mother's heart, never tiring, always faithful. Allow this moment to be one of deep surrender, a sacred offering of your brokenness to the one who makes all things new. Feel the warmth of her love filling your cracks, shaping a mosaic of healing and hope. This rosary is a journey of transformation, where grace flows freely and peace takes root. With Mary's prayers as your guide, healing is not only possible, it is happening right now, within you. You are being made whole. You are being held. You are being loved. As this rosary draws to a close, take a deep breath and feel the gentle presence of Mary's love surrounding you like a sacred circle, unbroken, eternal, and full of peace. The journey you have traveled through these prayers is a pilgrimage of healing, hope, and surrender, woven together by the tender hands of the Mother of Grace. In this moment of stillness, let your heart rest in the blessing of peace that flows from her embrace. Like a soft whisper upon your soul, this peace is a sacred gift, not earned or deserved, but freely given by a love that never fades. It is the kind of peace Jesus promised when he said, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives." John 14 verse 27. Mary, as our mother and intercessor, brings that peace to you now. Feel the warmth of her maternal care, a comfort that knows no boundaries or conditions. She stands with you, a constant companion on your journey, offering her prayers and her heart. Wherever you have been wounded, wherever you have felt lost, her love gathers those fragments and breathes new life into them. Let this blessing settle deep within your soul, a sacred seed planted in the soil of your spirit. May it grow in days to come, reminding you that healing is a continuous journey, carried gently by grace and faith. You are invited to return to this place of prayer whenever you need to find rest, renewal, and strength in Mary's loving presence. As you step back into your daily life, carry with you the light of this healing rosary. Let it remind you that you are never alone, never forgotten, and always deeply loved by God through Mary's maternal grace. May the peace of Christ guard your heart and mind. May Mary's gentle intercession be your refuge and strength. And may you walk forward with hope, courage, and the quiet assurance that healing is unfolding in you, even now. You are blessed. You are held. You are loved. If this video touched your heart and brought you even a moment of peace or comfort during weary times, we warmly invite you to leave a comment and share your thoughts below. Click the like button if you feel this was a gift to your soul, and subscribe to join us in a continued journey of prayer and healing under the gentle care of our Blessed Mother.